Hello, and welcome to our in-depth lesson on the oldest story in the English language. The history of the English language is rich and varied, and it is home to many ancient stories that have been passed down through generations. But, if we're talking about the oldest story in the English language, it would be the epic poem Beowulf. Beowulf is an epic poem that was written in Old English, dating back to the 8th or 9th century AD. It tells the story of the hero Beowulf, who comes to the aid of the people of the land of the Geats to defeat the fearsome monster Grendel and his mother. Beowulf then goes on to become the king of the Geats and, later in his life, fights and defeats a dragon. The poem is written in the form of Old English called West Saxon, and is one of the few surviving examples of Old English literature. It is also one of the earliest examples of Germanic heroic poetry. The poem is notable for its use of alliteration, a technique where the first sound of multiple words in a phrase or line is the same, as well as its use of kennings and metaphorical phrases used to describe something. This makes it a challenging text to read, but also a fascinating insight into the language and culture of the time. Beowulf is not only the oldest story in the English language, but it's also considered a masterpiece of literature. The poem is widely studied and has been adapted into various forms, including film and theater. It is also widely recognized as one of the most important works of Anglo-Saxon literature and has been widely translated into modern English. In conclusion, Beowulf is an epic poem that is considered the oldest story in the English language. Written in Old English, it is an important example of early English literature and provides a fascinating insight into the language and culture of the time. It's a challenging text to read, but also a masterpiece of literature that has stood the test of time. We hope this lesson has given you a deeper understanding of the oldest story in the English language and its significance in the history of the English language.